OK, well, let's get the thoughts now of Daniel Shaw. He's a professor of Latin American Studies at the City University of New York. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming on, Dan. Why is geopolitics taking priority over something that could save lives, do you think?
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. This is deeply unsettling to use vaccines as a political football to further demonize or vilify Russia. This is part of this new Cold War against China, against Russia. Now it's articulating itself through a vaccine war. There's already a diplomatic war, an ideological war, and an economic war on China, on Russia, on any country that opposes U.S. Unipolarity. So I think we have to analyze it within this context that they want to keep Brazil in their pocket, in their sphere of influence. And now they're even using vaccines to do that, to the great detriment of the Brazilian people, including close friends of mine who we lost to COVID in Brazil.
I just wondered, is it in Brazil's interest, or particularly the president's interest there, to bow to this pressure, considering, you know, the situation that his country is in and the fact that they've got one of the highest death rates to COVID in the world?
Yeah, well, Bolsonaro's been extremely callous before the needs of the Brazilian people. Under Lula, China was able to really make a lot of economic inroads. Chinese exports and imports to Brazil are now twice that of the United States. So I think we have to see it in the context of these trade wars. But this is typical U.S. activity. It takes me back to 2005 with Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, and the Cubans offered doctors. New Orleans is right there, bordering the Caribbean Sea, and the Cubans could get doctors there and offered doctors quicker than the president at the time, George Bush, could. So this is part of this ideological war. And to quote Calixto Garcia General Hospital in Havana, the life of one person is worth more than all the private property of the rich in the world. And I think we see that for the U.S., that's not the priority, that this is more about politics than saving human lives.
I just wondered, just coming back to the point I made, do you think, though, that Bolsonaro will actually sort of agree to this? I mean, what sort of leverage does America have over Brazilian politics? I can't understand personally why he would just say, yeah, OK, we won't take the Russian vaccine.
Well, there'll be elections next year in Brazil, so this will certainly be one of the issues. This could be a bombshell if it's seen as U.S. officials trying to bribe Brazilian officials and lean on them not to take vaccines from elsewhere, putting their own interests in front of U.S. lives, in front of Brazilian lives. Yeah, Bolsonaro already, his reputation has been horrible. Even at the time when he had COVID, he downplayed how COVID was affecting the Brazilian people. And of course, who's it most impacting? It's the Afro-Brazilians, the indigenous in the Amazon, the most vulnerable historical sectors of Brazil's population. So it's really not surprising that Bolsonaro would play this role.
Yeah, and just looking further afield, I mean, we've got the EU now, Dan, reviewing Sputnik V. Do you think that politics will influence its final decision there?
From day one, Andrew, it has, when there was first word of Sputnik 5 here in the United States, people, because of their Russia phobia and this whole ideological war against Russia, people were already making fun of this, this vaccine and saying that they would never take it. Without looking at the actual science. And if CNN and all of their experts and the media here really is going to follow the science, why does it matter where the vaccine comes from, whether it has a Cuban label or a Chinese label or a U.S. label or a Russian label? What should be important is the science and people's health.
Yeah, absolutely. OK, Dan, look, we'll leave it there, but good to talk to you tonight. That was Daniel Shaw, Professor of Latin American Studies at the City University of New York. Thank you.
Thank you.